Being a financial planner, I've had the privilege of meeting people from all walks of life. Some still in the midst of their working careers, others preparing for retirement, and some who are already enjoying it. But there's a surprising trend that I've come across, and it's that many individuals or couples are in fact doing better financially than they think. Rather than experience this sense of confidence or peace of mind that they've worked so hard for, many continue to be worried about their financial situation. And in fact, you may have asked yourself these exact questions. Am I doing enough? Do I have enough saved? What if something unexpected happens? And here's the worst part. That worry and concern actually holds people back from enjoying the life they've earned, even when they have done enough. So in today's video, I want to walk you through some clear signs that you're doing better than you realize, even when it doesn't necessarily feel that way. If I haven't met you yet, I'm Christian Klassen. I'm the co-founder of 402 Financial, and I created this channel to help you make the most out of your retirement. The first sign you're doing well financially is if you're spending less than you make. This is the basic foundation of financial well-being. And if you're consistently spending less than you earn, you're already way ahead of the game, even if your income is not that substantial. I mean, think about it. Someone who earns $70,000 per year, but saving 15 to 25% of their income is often doing far better than somebody making 2 to 3 times that amount, but spending every penny. It's that margin that builds up over time that generates that sense of freedom and confidence most dream of having. The freedom to save, the freedom to be prepared for emergencies, and eventually freedom to retire on your own terms. And yet, the people doing this still ask, am I behind? And the reality is that this one habit will push you way ahead of the pack, regardless of your net worth or age. The second sign you're doing well financially is that you don't care about status. Now, this is more of a mindset or attitude shift, and this is because you're not concerned with what others think of you. When you stop trying to look rich, you often end up actually being wealthy. And if you're not looking for the newest car, the best and the biggest house on the block, or continuously updating your lifestyle, then you're avoiding the lifestyle creep that keeps so many people stuck. I've talked to multimillionaires who still drive the same minivan they purchased almost a decade ago. Not because they have to, but because they're not trying to impress anybody else. They instead would rather use that money to retire earlier, give generously to the church or charity of their choice, or create more meaningful memories with their family and friends instead. And when somebody lives this way, you often notice they have a quiet confidence in themselves. And this is because they don't feel the need to flaunt their success or prove their worth to others. Because they know their value doesn't come from the material possessions or social status, but more of a focus on their family or faith in God. And it's the focus on these things that separates the rich from the truly wealthy. And in my opinion, those things such as purpose, faith, and family are worth way more than any amount of money. So, what's the third sign you're doing better than you think? Well, it's if you got 3 to 6 months of expenses in an emergency fund. If that's you, then you're actually in the minority here. Studies show that half of Americans wouldn't be able to cover a $1,000 unexpected expense. And only about 28% of those people said that they had enough to cover 6 months of expenses. So if you've built that up and you've saved this buffer for yourself, give yourself some credit. That cushion means you're less likely to fall into credit card debt, less likely to panic during a job loss or unexpected medical bill. And you're far less likely to dip into your retirement savings when life inevitably throws you a curveball. Now, this kind of milestone, this is easy to overlook, especially if the money is just sitting there in a savings account. But that's the whole point. It's there when you need it, and that peace of mind is a major financial win. Sign number 4 is if you have a sizable pension or even a strong social security benefit. You might have one or the other, or even both if you're lucky enough. For the majority of people, it would take hundreds of thousands, if not over $1 million, to be able to generate the same level of guaranteed income that a pension provides. And the same goes for a solid Social Security benefit, especially for couples. So, between different spousal strategies and the option of delaying your benefits, you might already have a substantial source of income in retirement that meets a majority of your monthly expenses in retirement. And if you did a great job saving, now your focus is less about accumulation and it's more about tax strategies, like avoiding the Social Security tax torpedo. And if you don't know what that is, watch this video up above after this. But here's the thing, even people with solid pensions and Social Security sometimes still panic when the market drops and they worry they're going to run out of money. So let me just remind you, if you have one or both of these income streams and they cover most, if not all of your monthly retirement expenses, you might already be closer to financial independence than you realize. And for the fifth sign, let's talk about being completely debt free. This is what most people consider the ultimate financial milestone. If you're at this point in your life, or you will be there by retirement, you're going to have a level of freedom that the average person will never have. So take a moment and close your eyes and imagine for a second. If you had no monthly payments hanging over you and no financial obligations keeping you locked into a certain job that you don't enjoy, and no stress about interest rates, loan balances, or just trying to make ends meet, that'd be a pretty freeing life, wouldn't it? So even if your portfolio is not that large, the necessity of a big nest egg decreases significantly when your expenses are minimal. By being debt free, it is the ultimate path towards financial independence. And for many, it's the key that unlocks true financial freedom in retirement. Now, real quick, if you're wondering where you stand for retirement, whether you're saving enough or maybe you need to change course, I put together a free quiz to help you estimate how much you might actually need to retire. It's simple and it just might give you the peace of mind you're looking for. Find it linked in the description below, but back to the video. So if you're listening to this video and you're beginning to realize, hey, I check a few of these boxes, well, that's a good sign. It means that your retirement plan might be a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for. Because if you have very little or no debt, good spending habits, and savings in the bank, you're not just surviving, you're probably thriving financially, regardless of how much money you make. Now, it doesn't mean you stop being intentional with what you're doing. However, it does mean you can shift from a place of fear to more of a mindset shift to where you actually enjoy what you built and focus on the things that bring you value and purpose to your life. Because retirement shouldn't just be about getting by. Because if you've done these things right, it will not just be a retirement that works, but you'll have a retirement that's worth looking forward to. Because here's the trap that so many people fall into. They work hard for decades, they build a solid nest egg, and retire with more than enough. They stay stuck in the saving mode well into retirement. It's incredibly common because while you're working, you're in this accumulation phase. But once you hit retirement, it's a completely different ballgame. And I've seen it time and time again. People who have done everything right with way more than enough, but they still hesitate to spend and actually end up hoarding the money they worked so hard to save. And their only focus is being worried about the what ifs of life. But here's the irony to that. This constant restraint on spending can actually lead to regret later on in life. You only get one retirement, well, hopefully, and if the numbers say you're okay, give yourself permission to spend a little more on the people and experiences that matter the most in your life. This is not being reckless with money, it's responsible joy. So if your money is just sitting idle, especially in retirement, it's probably not creating a sense of joy, purpose, or even a legacy, most likely. But money with intention, now that's different. Because when you clearly define what your money is actually going to be used for, whether that's on travel, helping your family, or giving generously via time and money, then everything changes for you because your decisions start to have a meaning and purpose behind it. And your retirement will have a fulfilling sense of direction. And I've witnessed this shift happen in real time. Someone goes from always holding back, always expecting the worst, to living with a sense of clarity that they were always looking for. Not just asking, will I run out of money? But what do I want this money to do for me and the people I love? This is the real purpose of intentional financial planning. Not just to preserve your money, but to make the most of it in retirement and use it well. So, if you saw yourself in any of these signs today, remember this. You're probably doing better than you realize. You built some margin for yourself, and you focused on making sound financial decisions. You've done the hard things that most people won't do. So now what? It's time to move away from just saving, but towards actually living with a purpose. Make sure your plan for retirement adds and brings value to your life, not the other way around. And if this video helped you shift your perspective or just gave you a little more confidence for the future, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe so more people can see this video and others like it. Reach out for a call using the link below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.